Hello, everyone. So one of the things that I talked about for this group this time is that instead of just focusing solely on exercise and what workout programs we're doing and on what we're eating, that I also wanted to add sort of this third aspect of what I think is really important to be able to meet your goals. I think that what I've learned along the way as I've started doing personal development is that there's so many more things that are affecting the decisions we're making. For some of us, it's things we've been through, our experiences. We all have this way that we view ourselves and think about ourselves, and those things are so deep and so, they're so far beneath the surface. And I think what personal development has done for me has taught me to sort of tap into those things and to find a way to learn more about myself, which I think in the end is not just improving how I look at my health and fitness, but also my job, just everything I do really, my day-to-day life, my interactions with my husband, with my kids, with my family, which I think is really cool. The 3 books that I have consumed, I guess you would say, I use Audible. I listen to them on my way to and from work, or if I'm randomly, sitting somewhere and kind of waiting, instead of scrolling through Facebook or Instagram, like I used to do, or instead of, like right now, I'm in a hotel room, instead of, binge watching some show that I never get to watch, I've sort of decided to use this time to better myself. And so the 3 books I've read so far, I'm going to look at my notes a little bit so I don't forget, but Always Hungry is the first one that I read. And what this one did for me is really taught me sort of the science behind how we eat and what we eat. And really the whole premise behind this book is that the author is trying to explain why traditional diets do not work. And he talks about the science of foods, why you should eat this, why you shouldn't eat that. And it's really interesting. And specifically, he talks about how you do not need to starve yourself. In fact, you should not be starving yourself if you're really trying to lose weight. So I think that was really helpful for me. And I traditionally follow the 21-day fix meal plan using the portion containers. And I felt like a lot of the things that he talked about were in line with that, so I like that. There were a few things that were different that I've sort of taken into account and incorporated into my own personal the way that I eat and my meal plan that I use. The second one that I read was the 10 times rule. And my big takeaway from this one is that we set our goals way too low. And sort of the premise in this book is do everything 10 times. So if you think, oh, I want to help 50 people this year, you say, I want to help 1,000. And in the end, no matter what you end up doing, even if it's below the 1,000 people, it's probably going to be more than that 50 people that you initially set out to help. It's just about having this confidence in yourself, and even when you don't have it, it's faking the funk, say it until you believe it, say it until it's true. And the other big takeaway from the 10 times rule is that he says to say yes and figure it out later. And now that I think back in my life generally, I think of some of the biggest decisions that I made that have been positive in my life. One being going to law school. I did it totally on a whim. Never thought I would go to law school. Certainly never thought that I would graduate or do well or that I'd actually be an attorney someday. But I basically just said yes, and I figured it out, and I worked hard, and I did it. The second would be joining the Army after law school. I sort of did the same thing. I went in, I learned about it, I got accepted, I said yes. I had no idea what I was doing, no idea what I was getting into. And in the end, those 2 huge decisions are sort of why I am where I'm at today, which is awesome. I had my amazing law school experience. I was in the JAG Corps, for almost 8 years, and now I'm a federal civilian employee, which brings sort of all of that together. And I wouldn't do anything differently, and certainly had no idea how it was going to turn out. I kind of took it, 1 year at a time, or hey, I can do anything for 1 year, or 3 years, or whatever, and I just did it. And I think that with working out and joining these groups and deciding to start a program and to get into shape, you're not sure you can do it, you're scared, but you just say, I'm going to do it, and you figure it out, and you keep moving forward. The one that I'm reading now, I'm about a little over halfway through it, is the 5-second rule. And this has been my favorite so far. I still have, again, half of the book to go, so I'm kind of at the point where she's teaching you how to use this 5-second rule, and it's not the 5-second rule like you drop food on the floor, you can still eat it, which at my house that's more of like 20-second rule, maybe more. My son sometimes will come around way later and eat something else on the floor. But in her book, the 5-second rule, it really talks about how you can talk yourself out of something in just 5 seconds. That's all it takes. You have this instinct or you have this desire to do something, to change, especially if it's hard or difficult or outside your comfort zone, and that your body immediately or your brain immediately starts working really hard to talk you out of it, which is crazy. So what she's saying is that basically if you can get through those 5 seconds, like that was 5 seconds of doubt, and she actually says, count down from 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And if you can get through that, you just do it. You just move forward then. You basically take your mind off of it, and in those 5 seconds, you can sort of fight off that desire or that discouragement you're getting from your brain and do it anyway. And overall, she talks a lot about that a lot of the things that we say, oh, that's just how I am. I'm a procrastinator, or I'm just always late, or, I'm just not motivated. She says all of these things are things that you can change. They're really just all bad habits. Being late is a bad habit. Procrastinating is a bad habit that you can kick. And so she kind of walks you through how you can get past your fears or past your struggles, past your bad habits, and create new ones, create new behaviors. To improve your life, and actually for her overcome a lot of things, to include her serious anxiety, her fear of flying, things like that. But the things that she teaches you of sort of how to get through those moments, this 5-second rule, it's amazing. And I think that you can apply it to a lot of different things in your life, and specifically to that, your alarm going off in the morning. You don't want to get up, but you think of 100 excuses. And she says you just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get up. And in that time, you can overcome your brain trying to talk you out of doing something that's hard. So I encourage everybody to find some sort of personal development that you think you would enjoy. I can certainly give you recommendations. Now that I've read these, or I've downloaded these 3 books, I get a lot of other ones pop up that are similar, that, it says you might like this one, and it's been really cool. And it's kind of, again, I hadn't read a book, like a whole book, in years. It's hard to do that when you have kids and work and everything else. I think it's also helped me, have a really long commute to work, and I was listening to CNN, which can be kind of a downer. And so now I do my 15, 20 minutes of CNN so that I know what's going on in the world, but then I pop my headphones in and I listen to my book, and I find that I'm in a much better mood. I'm much more positive, and I think it's generally helping me to make good decisions in my life and at work, and I like that. So if you have any questions, please let Nicole and I know, and we'll try to make some recommendations. And it doesn't have to be, I happen to have a really long commute, so for me, I can do almost an hour a day. But seriously, 1 chapter, 10 pages, you set a goal that works for you. And in the end, you just try to be better than you were yesterday. So you do what you can. But I do think it's helpful. I think everyone should try it. And I encourage you to share if you are already doing personal development, or if you start, and let us know what you're doing, what you're reading, and what you're getting from it. Something that you can share with the group that you think will benefit everyone. All right, there's my little spiel on personal development. Have a great day.